Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we start off a brand new month here in the month of September, starting off our road to October, our annual Halloween season month. Just always starts off in the month of September. And the Retro Blood is coming back with a good old tale of the beings that haunt your dreams, haunt your nightmares. They will scare you, and then a branch will fall on you, and the boat will sink to the bottom for some reason.
Oh, because spoilers.
Because we are talking round two of 1980s ghost stories here for the month of September. And we're starting off with a British classic, a tale that will haunt your dreams through the television. A very critically acclaimed television movie that actually got nominated for a bunch of awards and had an all-star British cast. Because if you all like a lawyer man who has to leave his family to go settle some papers to sell a house, tell me if this sounds familiar. Dracula. Excuse me. If he has to, then he has to become a detective man to figure out the mystery, like Dracula. Then he has to then he gets haunted by noises coming from this estate, and he gets followed around by a woman in black. Yes, the Retro Blood is starting off Ghost month of 1980s, talking the critically acclaimed London British television movie, The Woman in Black, the original.
Yeah.
J.H. Alison, James Kline. What's happened, Alison? How was your Don't Call Me Dracula movie? How was it? How did you like this one?
That's pretty good. I've wanted to watch this for a while because I remember bringing it up, several months ago. Yeah. And I think it may not have made the cut when I picked the Ghost month before, which I think was in April, and I picked all the movies.
Yeah.
And I think it just didn't make the cut, but it's making the cut this time. And I've wanted to see this for a while. I had never watched it before, but it was written by Nigel Neal, who we'll talk about when we talk about who booked this shit. Yeah. And it's one of the few movies. Well, I guess there's several now, but it's one of the movies that he made that I haven't seen. So I was kind of happy to see it, and I wasn't really disappointed. I feel like it was a little bit overlong, but we'll talk about that when we get into that review.
Yeah, I can see the longness, but these made for TV movies usually go a little longer. Like I think when the one that comes to, well, there's a couple that come to mind. We've done a couple in the past, like the Scarecrow one. And I believe that was a little longer too. They usually go a little bit past like the 1:30 mark, probably because of the commercials and stuff that's put into the actual movie.
Yeah, it's because they have to have a certain runtime, I'm sure. So that's why.
I did believe, I was right with you. I thought the story was pretty good. I thought it did drag a little bit in certain cases. Like we had to see our boy author do every little thing. All right. So, we always have to get that runtime going on. But but this one, this one's gonna be pretty interesting when we talk about it. Obviously this is a book. It was a book originally, but then it became like a this made for TV movie, and then apparently had a bunch of remakes too, of like around the 2000s, I believe, of The Woman in Black and The Woman in Black 2, which I haven't seen either of those. I've heard about them, but I haven't seen any of those before.
Yeah, I haven't either. They were they had the guy that the Harry Potter guy is in those.
Yeah, and apparently one of the kids from the original movie was also on the Woman in Black remake as well too.
That's interesting.
Maybe if we maybe the lights out, maybe I'll challenge you to one of those movies for the future. But this one was all right. We'll see. This some quick thoughts before we get into the whole breakdown. This one was like It's very classy. It's one of those old school, classy European ghost stories. To be honest with you, and I don't know if anybody else has made this comparison. I don't know. I didn't really read anybody else's reviews or anything about it. I'll just do it in my own opinion. At the beginning of the film, I was getting like Dracula vibes. You know, we have the guy who has his family. His boss is too scared to go to the foreign land to go. You know, and Dracula wanted to move over here. All right. Well, this one was a widow who died, and the guy didn't want to go. You know, he was like sending the newbie out there to do the dirty work. And then when the newbie goes out there, he uncovers a mystery of evil that's going on in this land that everybody's looking at him strange. So the beginning of the story, like halfway through it, was giving me a lot of like Bram Stoker's Dracula vibes. You know, vibes.
I can see that because Dracula is what they call an epistolary novel, I think is how you say it, which means it's a novel written or told through letters. So if you read the original Dracula novel, it has you're just reading like his letters to Mina, or different people's letters to different people. Even though this is not exactly that, there's a lot of that in there with the recordings on the wax cylinder that he keeps hearing. So it's real similar in that way too. But yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is a lot like Dracula. Yeah, and he's recording himself and stuff. Yeah. I mean, besides Dracula or Nosferatu getting up on his wife, it was basically like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Other than there's no vampire in it, but yeah.
There's just a haunted witch lady.
Yeah. Right, but she's kind of vampire-like, though.
There you go. Counts.
Yeah.
There you go. But everybody, a couple quick things before we get going. Obviously, y'all can see in my background, I'm still in the land of Down Under. All right. Out here for work for a little while. You know, we got it's pretty cool out here so far. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm more like our boy Arthur. I've gone on to a strange land, and I have to figure out the mystery of this land of Australia. So that's what I'm here. I have not been haunted by a woman in black yet, but I have been haunted by 18-year-olds drinking at the bar. I have been haunted by that.
That's a pestilence that keeps coming.
You know, for us non-Europeans like myself, that was a shocker at first. And then I was like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense because they do that everywhere else in the world, probably. So, other than that, it's going pretty good. But I'll be here for probably this whole September. Everybody, you'll see the same background. I'm not in the normal Retro Blood Studios, so I'm out here Down Under. I'm on assignment, as they say.
Yes.
All right. Yes. To explore the strange lands of Australia. All right, but let's get going on here. All right.
Let's do it.
No playing around. This is Retro Blood. We don't play around here on the Retro Blood. We get straight to business. All right. So this made-for-TV movie, The Woman in Black, which actually got really good ratings, which we'll talk about here. One of the highest ratings in British television. It actually came out Christmas Eve of 1989. Can you believe it?
Yes. Actually, I can. So the reason, we can talk about that for a minute. So the reason that this came out on Christmas Eve is because starting in the Victorian era, there's been a huge tradition in England of telling ghost stories.
Yes.
Which is why A Christmas Carol has ghosts in it. And I think we've mentioned this before. But for a long time, there would be the BBC or at least one of the British TV stations would have like a ghost movie, TV movie about ghosts that would air like right around Christmas time. And for 1989, this was the one they used. Nigel Neal also wrote another one called The Stone Tape, which came out in 1972, which is also really good. It's better than this movie, actually. But it came out in 72, and it was also a Christmas movie at the time, which is how I learned that, because I thought it was weird that we would release these, kind of ghost scary movies at Christmas time. But that's why, though. It's kind of interesting, I think. Now that you mention that, I think that is actually a good time. I do like the classic ghost telling stories around Christmas time because, it's not all just made for October. Christmas time or Christmas is like, when you think of it naturally, it's like very dark, stormy, snowy and stuff.
candle lit at the snow. I do remember they also released I think it was a couple of years back, a really good telling of Scrooge. The Scrooge story is like this very dark, mysterious Scrooge story. You can find it on Hulu. I think it was called like Carol or something like that. I don't remember that off the top of my head, but it was really fun. It was really like, it's kind of set like this in like the European, what do you call this? What do you call this century that we saw today?
Well, that was the 20th century. It was 1925.
1925 century. It's like set in that time. Really good tale of the Scrooge on that one. So I think you're right. This is a pretty good time for like a ghost story, during this time. But it's also fun for the pro wrestling and the metal music around this time, brother. Just think, you're waiting by the tree. What are you gonna get for the good old Christmas underneath the tree? Well, you're gonna get some metal CDs, and you're gonna get some pro wrestling. Not DVDs, but television airing. So I'll go first.
Sure.
So we have some pro wrestling. Not necessarily during this time frame of 1989. But in years past, Christmas Eve and Christmas was big time for wrestling. We would have huge cards, especially out of the WCCW territory. We would have some of their annual Christmas Star Wars events. We would have Starrcade, would happen around, I think mostly like Thanksgiving, but it would later turn to around Christmas time. Starrcade would be. You would have your annual NWA shows on Christmas Day, because back then, a lot of the it wasn't really all about television and stuff. Like most of the time nowadays, like during Christmas Eve or Christmas, most of the WWE or AEW, whatever, plays around Christmas time. Most of the ratings are not strong at all. Most of them kind of die because people just do other stuff than sit at home and watch wrestling. But back in the day, you would open up your presents in the morning time or whatever, eat a little bit, and then go out to the wrestling match. You would do things. You would actually get out of the house. You wouldn't lay around the house all day. You would go out to the wrestling event. All right. So this was like a big time for wrestling. Not so much in 1989, I would say, but it would still have that tradition here and there. I think they should bring it back. But, obviously, a lot of the wrestlers and stuff like that, they want to be with their families on Christmas. So usually what they'll do is they'll just do a tape. They'll do like a tape of Raw or SmackDown if they are around the time frame. So they'll give them like the whole Christmas day off. But Christmas used to be big time money for pro wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And WWE still does that Christmas tour, where they play the Madison Square Garden show sometime around Christmas, but it's not on Christmas Day anymore.
No, I think it's either the day after Christmas or like 2 days after Christmas where they do that annual Madison Square Garden show. You're correct.
Yeah, because like you were saying, so the thing about it is, like, I'd say, but I don't know what you're going to talk about actually, but I know around 1989 they were probably transitioning to more of the pay-per-view model. Yeah, and ticket sales weren't as important because the reason that they had those Christmas and Thanksgiving shows was because tickets were what mattered, not TV. TV shows were made to sell the tickets. Yeah, that's why you never saw any big shows on TV or big matches on TV. So, and the way they did it for years is people would open up their gifts, have their dinner or whatever with their family. Then they would get in the car and go to wrestling. Yep. And they did it for decades up until pay-per-view became a thing, until ad revenue became more valuable than ticket sales. Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing, it would be Thanksgiving and Christmas were two of the biggest events for pro wrestling for years and years and years. But this show we're going to talk about was a pretty fun one. I like it. It was actually a WCW Saturday Night episode that aired December 23rd, 1989. Now the event took place December 10th, 1989 at the great Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro, home venue.
Home venue, brother. I love it. Pretty good show over here. The main part of the show was to show the ongoing rivalry between Sting and Lex Luger, which are always pretty good matches. Obviously, those guys are really good friends with each other over the U.S. belt. All right. But we had some pretty good matches on here. We started off with Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. All right. They defeated Bobby and Jack Fulton. So pretty good old tag team match. Then we had another tag team match of Ole and Arn Anderson defeating Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, who his claim to fame was wasn't he like the WCW like trainer, like for the factory or something like that? And like Batista like hated this.
Yeah, he became the trainer at the factory or the power
plant.
The power plant. That's what they called it.
Yeah. So he was some people liked his training, some people didn't, basically. All right. And they defeated Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker and James Earl Wright. We had Doom. This is like a huge tag team fucking. This show was stacked up, man. I was like, damn. We had Doom defeated Rick Ryder and Paul Drake. All right. Tommy Rick versus Mike Rotunda. No contest. And we had Eddie Gilbert and Ranger Ross. All right. Defeated the Galaxies. I mean, this is all like tag team matches all everywhere around here. All right. And then we had Brian Pillman and Tom Zink. They defeated Bob Cook and Ned Bradley. So tag team matches all around this fucking card. All right.
That would have been fine. I mean, I wouldn't have watched that and said, "Oh, that's the greatest Saturday night's main event ever," or this, Shotgun Saturday Night, or what was it? What WCW Saturday Night?
Yeah, just WCW
that I would see.
Yeah,
but it was fine.
Yeah, a lot of tag team matches get people on the card. Back in the day, a lot of territories would be known for their tag teams. So, when it comes to 1989 WCW, their business wasn't as strong. They've already been bought out by Ted Turner and Warner Brothers. Yeah. This is kind of like the infantry of that. But I will go to the grave and saying this era of WCW, even though ratings weren't the best and the business was kind of in the shitter because of management shakeups and everything, boy, the product was good, man. They had some great wrestlers. They had some great, like that Halloween Havoc in 1989 we talked about before was great. Great.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
I mean, all of them were fucking. Those pay-per-views are great, man. This was a great era. They had the I believe they had the Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, the trilogies of matches around this time.
Yep.
I mean, even the business wasn't that bad, but the quality was fucking fantastic around this time.
Yeah. So was WWE still doing better then than WCW? Because then they were starting to lose Hogan around that time too.
Kind of. Hogan was. Yeah, I think 1989 Hogan was still there. Obviously, he was still the top draw, but he was not as he was like in and out most because he was making those movies. You know what I mean? And he was making some of those TV shows and movies. Because Hogan was still there. Like he didn't drop the. He's still champion here and there. I think this is when he had the feud with Macho Man. All right. So like, he was there, but he wasn't on every show like he was. So they were kind of, they wouldn't kind of like slow down Hogan's role until like the Ultimate Warrior got really, really hot, which was like around 90, 91. So, yeah. But this period right here of 1989, this was the first sign that pro wrestling was calming down a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It wasn't just how popular it was. And
then it would stay down for another 5 years or so, probably.
Yeah, it didn't really go to the toilet, all right, until like 92, 93. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like around probably like 93 to about 97. I would say like wrestling was like, hey, it wasn't just how popular it was, but then once 97 kind of kicked in, then it started getting a little hot on both sides. Especially go back into the Attitude Era and everything.
Right. And as soon as NWO took off, WCW kind of took off again. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was a decent show. I wouldn't have said that's the best Saturday Night I've ever seen, but I mean, it was fine. It would have been something to watch, 2 days before Christmas or whatever.
You think our boy Arthur, when he's not investigating the mystery tale of this child gone missing in Voices, you think he would have watched this episode of Saturday Night?
I think Arthur would have rather have been doing anything other than investigating what he was investigating in this movie. So he would have been perfectly happy watching WCW Saturday Night.
Yeah. Why not? Back in the old days.
Yeah. Watching it in the future of 1989.
Exactly. He didn't even have a tube TV. He had to go live
TV at all. Exactly.
All right, Alison, what we got going on for the... Actually, I like the music that you picked out this week. This band's pretty new to me, but I was listening to it and I was like, God damn, these guys are rocking.
Yeah, I'd heard this band before, and this is kind of shocking to me, and I still don't really believe it, but I did cross-reference it in 2 different places. So the band I'm talking about this week is this band as a death metal band called Pestilence. They're considered one of the big 4 of technical death, along with bands like Cynic and Atheist, and I can't think of who the 4th one would be. But supposedly, this album came out on Christmas Day in 1989. Pestilence is a band from Holland. But it's really weird that your album would come out on a day that almost everything is closed, so no one could go buy it. But it is really odd, and obviously streaming didn't exist then. But it is really odd that this album came out on Christmas Day, but supposedly it did. So this album is a little bit of a departure from their first album. So this is their second album, the one that we're talking about, which is called Consuming Impulse. They made 2 albums with the singer that sings on this album, and those are the only Pestilence albums I really like. The first 2. The first one's called can never say this right, Malleus Maleficarum, which is Hammer. But it was more of just like a straight thrash record.
Damn.
But this album, you can tell that they took a lot of influence from Slayer. They became more death metal, and then they became like this kind of Slayer sounding band with all the atonal guitar solos where they're just like, hitting a high note and then, like grabbing their Floyd Rose who's like, and just making noise like Kerry King would do.
Yeah. He would also do the deeper vocals.
Yeah.
On some of the range of vocalist.
Yeah. To make them more, death metal sounding than the first record did. It also has some doom metal quality to it as well. Like there's some doomy parts. But I like this album a lot. It was a surprise to see that this came out in a time period that we could talk about it. So I'm glad that we are. And this is, you've never heard this before, right?
No, I never heard this band before, but I listened to it. I was like, God damn. First of all, the vocals were giving me Corpse Grinder.
I can see that
vibes there for a little bit, and then it would go to the thrashy parts and stuff. I was like, damn, these guys are pretty rocking. Like they were just constantly going. I liked it. Very fast paced, very good.
Exactly. I was going to say if this band wasn't an influence on Corpse Grinder, I would be surprised.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the guy does sound a lot like Corpse Grinder when he's singing on this. But yeah, I like this album a lot. I really like the first song, Dehydrated, which is about being dehydrated. I really like that song a lot. I really like Suspended Animation, Deify Thy Master. There's a lot of really, really, really good songs on this. But this is a really good album. I won't spend a lot of time talking about it, but yeah, Pestilence, Consuming Impulse is a great record. If it's still available, you should pick it up, listen to it. It's on the streamings. All the streaming places have it. Yeah. But you should buy a physical copy because physical media matters.
Yes, it does. It always matters. Get that out there. And if you don't got no CD player in your car, go get one. All right? There, you can play your CDs in there. No excuses.
They're gonna be hard to find, but yeah, get the CD player in your car.
So, but yeah, we'll play some at the end of this episode for all the podcast listeners. We'll play some good old tracks from there. But I like them though. I like the song that you sent me was really good. I'll probably be rocking them a little bit down when I'm driving down the roads.
Yeah, and the Australia.
Right. And the Australia roads.
Just make sure you're on the other side.
Music. Yeah. Well, actually, I've gotten used to driving on the other side. It's not too bad so far. Some of it kind of trips me out a little bit, but I just kind of just follow the car direction. But it's pretty funny. I'll blare some of my music. I don't know if anybody blares music out here, but I know I do.
Yeah, you should. Show them how. Show them the way.
I'll show them how to be American.
Exactly. There's nothing more American than blasting your metal out the window and drinking and driving. Do it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. But I'm, like I said, around here though, Sydney, like there's a big metal scene around here. Like I was telling you before we got on here, that record store, Utopia, it was really fun there. They had a lot of cool records in there, a lot of good stuff on there. And they have a lot of bands that play over here too. A lot of metal bands, a lot of metal scene around here. I was very surprised, but Sydney, it definitely gets a lot of tourists. So they're definitely big into like the music scene around here, which is cool to see. But everybody, let's get into it. Let's get into who booked this shit. The Woman in Black.
Who booked this shit?
So, like we said before, it's a British horror drama television film directed by one Herbert Wise. All right.
Yeah.
And the teleplay is adapted from the 1983 novel of the same name by Susan Hill. Alison, have you ever read the book?
I knew you were going to ask me that. No, I've not read the book for this.
What?
I know I'm slacking. I should have read the book before we watched it, but I did not.
So obviously, the Susan Hill, obviously this is one of her famous books, The Woman in Black. It's a very famous book, and that she wrote. Got a lot of, I think she got like a lot of like nominations for it or something. But I know it was a famous tale.
Yeah, she got a lot of awards for it. And apparently, I don't know if you read this part, but apparently when she was angry that Nigel Neal changed some of the plot points, but apparently the only thing I could find that he actually changed was he changed the sex of the dog from female to male, and she like flipped her shit over it. Apparently,
spiders, like what the hell?
Yeah. But anyway, it's a classic book, which I've never read, as I said before. It's a classic book. And this is a kind of a classic TV movie that's really hard to watch now. We had to watch it on the YouTube.
Yeah, you can find it on the YouTube. That's the only place I could find it, actually.
Yeah. As much as we shit on YouTube for like blocking us all the time, like they are one source of movies that we can't get any other way.
It's true. So I thought this, this was a pretty well paced, So the cast for this were very prominent British actors at this time. So they actually had a really good cast. Adrian Wallace, Bernard Hampton, David Draker, Pauline Moore. Like they were very prominent in the British television scene at this time.
Yeah. The Adrian Rollins guy, the guy that played Arthur.
Yeah.
He played Harry Potter's dad.
Yeah. He was Harry Potter's dad. And there was a kid in this movie. I forgot the name, but he actually went on to be the main Arthur guy in the Woman in Black remake. Those happen, all right?
Okay.
So we also have a screenplay by Nigel. All right, Kinley. I believe he wrote the screenplay for this.
Yeah, Nigel Neal. Yeah.
Yeah, Nigel Neal. Thomas Nigel Neal. Thank you. Put some respect on my Thomas name. All right. So yeah, I mean, obviously he's a pretty well renowned screenwriter on here as well. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I discovered him mostly from something called the Quatermass experiment, which is like I don't know, like I'm always looking for like weird genre media, like weird horror, weird science fiction that you can't see anywhere else. So in the 50s, he wrote these 3 TV shows called based on this character named Dr. Quatermass. And they were performed live on television. They were never filmed. They were filmed, but they weren't filmed and then broadcast. They were live plays on TV, and like they did the show, it went out live, and then that was it. And then I think the first one or the second one, I can't remember which one. One of them is lost forever, but the other 2 you can still watch. They're both they're really good. That's where I first heard about him. But he also was the uncredited writer on Halloween 3, which we talked about when we did Halloween 3. But he also wrote Halloween 3, which is one of our favorite movies on the Retro Blood.
One of my favorite reviews of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. Everybody go check that out in the archives. Halloween 3. That's a really fun one. This whole Halloween series is very fun.
Halloween series is really good. Like I ran into a new listener actually the other day that I did not know listened to our show, and he said to me, he's like, "You guys talk about Halloween 3 a lot," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, Halloween 3 is great." And he's and he was kind of surprised. He wasn't really shitting on Halloween 3, but he was like, he's really surprised that we talked about Halloween 3 a lot. But I'm like, man, you need to go back and rewatch that. The movie's good. If you can get over the fact that Michael Myers is not in it, then it's a good movie. It's a really, really good fucking movie.
Why do you need Michael Myers when we have Cochran?
Exactly.
Right? Taking over the fucking world and shit. All right.
And
you got fucking Tom Atkins banging every chick in sight.
Yeah, you got Tom Atkins fucking every girl in the movie. Yeah, I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want,
brother? What else do you want, brother? All right. So some stuff about this movie. All right. So the obviously this was produced by Central Independent Television for ITV. Appeared on Christmas Eve, 1989. Okay. And the program was filmed at Stan Lake Park in Berkshire.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah, using the causeway to Osha Island near Goldhanger in Essex. See, I could say British stuff. It's just that fucking Italian stuff that gets me. You know?
I know. No. Love the
Italian stuff just gets me.
Yeah.
And the locals, let's see. While scenes represented Gifford were filmed at the National Trust village of Lancock near Wiltshire. All right, so let's see. Release. All right, so the film was the first broadcast in the United Kingdom on ITV on Christmas Eve of 1989, with the only repeat airing taking place on Channel 4 at Christmas 1994. Overall, the TV adaptation stayed reasonable, faithful to the original novel, although some of the changes angered the author Susan, which we talked about, which was the dog. All right. And author name has also changed from Kips to Kid.
Yeah, so that's enough to make you flip your shit, right? Those two changes. Those are the only two changes I could find. But yeah, so like you mentioned, like it was shown again on Christmas 1994, and it's never been shown ever since then. And because it falls victim to a lot of the British TV movies and shows as they do, because in England, the production company doesn't own the movie or TV show outright usually. Back then, like if you wrote or created a character, then the writer owned the character. So when they made this, there was like 4 different people that had naming rights in it or owned part of it, and they could never agree on how to distribute, what kind of contract to distribute to have it shown again. So it kind of just went out of print for decades. I think you can buy it on DVD or Blu-ray again now, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But it was never shown on TV again.
Yeah, after that airing. Yeah, very interesting.
But you can definitely watch it on YouTube in a very high quality version.
Do we call that high quality?
It looked like it was ripped from a DVD for sure. I mean, it looked better than some of the shit we've watched on YouTube. That's for sure. There's 2 versions on there, though. One is better than the other one. The subtitled one looks a lot better than the other version.
I will say that. The subtitle, yeah, watch the subtitled one. It's a lot better. You can understand some of the lingo a little better.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. It says The Woman in Black was originally released on VHS in the United Kingdom on June 25th, 1990. So I'm pretty sure that's the version that we got on the YouTubes. It was re-released on VHS on April 1st, 1991 by Video Collection International as an exclusive to W.H. Smith stores, but only a fair short time before becoming an out-of-print title. All right.
Oh, wow. So it hasn't been in print on DVD ever. It's only been on VHS.
Well, no, it says there was also a North American release on Region 1 DVD by BFS Entertainment on August 8th, 2000. No, yeah, August 8th of 2000, which is now out of print.
Which, of course it is. Which is why it's important to get physical media. Otherwise, you're watching it on YouTube like we do.
And then it says the U.S. television rights has since been purchased twice and currently reside with the U.S. studio. All right. So it doesn't say which studio, though. So a couple other things, notes and trivia about the film. We had Adrian Wallace, who played Arthur Kidd in this 1989 version of The Woman in Black, later played James Potter, father of Harry Potter, like you said, Alison, in the Harry Potter films, which I have not seen. That's right. Screw y'all's Harry Potter stuff.
You never seen him. I'm not really big into Harry Potter, but someone I care about a whole lot made me watch all of them quite a few years ago, and they weren't too bad.
It also says, this is the thing I was talking about earlier. Harry Potter was played by Daniel, what is it called? Radcliffe? All right.
Radcliffe. Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe plays Harry Potter. Yeah.
And Daniel would later go on to portray the same character, Arthur Kipps, in the 2012 version of The Woman in Black. So I had mine backwards. I thought it was a kid from this movie that played Arthur, but no, it was Harry Potter himself was Arthur Kipps. Brother.
What if in this movie you had James Potter show up and not in
House
this
of
movie,
Oz.
but in the remake. Yeah, in the remake, you know, you could have James Potter show up like from 1925, but playing Arthur Kidd.
Yeah.
And that would be really weird because he would be like his dad, but not really. It'd be odd.
Well, it wouldn't be his dad because he was Kid and this one's Kips.
Well, that's just completely different. Yeah.
It's like a different time
Good point.
universe.
Good. I know.
All right. Let's see. So this one also it also stars a young Andy Newman, who went on to write, direct, and appear in Ghost Stories, 2017.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what else we got on here. Well, it did say there, Alison. Adrian Rollins, Arthur Kidd, later played Dr. Rhodes in Hammer Films' The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death.
Okay.
So he did play in this movie.
Okay. He played a character in the sequel of the remake. So, yeah.
He played Dr. Rhodes, brother.
Interesting.
So your idea did come for fruition. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. The film was released on Blu-ray in the UK after only being available in very, very poor quality online from secondhand VH tapes for years. All right. The film originally aired on. Oh, we talked about that. Okay. So this one also too. It did get nominated for a couple rewards, which I thought was pretty interesting. All right. So The Woman in Black was nominated for 4 BAFTA awards. Okay, including Best Design, Best Film Sound, Best Makeup, and Best Original Television Music. Which the music on here was pretty good, but some of it did sound like Psycho.
I was going to say that exactly. It sounds like like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Yes.
Well, the yeah.
Let's see. So apparently, I'm trying to figure out. This actually, it doesn't tell me here, but I did hear that this was a very highly rated television film for the time. Like it actually had some really good television numbers. It's not telling me on here what the exact numbers were, but I did hear it was actually very, very like highly rated. You know what I mean? Like very for the time frame and stuff for the England market on here. And like you were saying before, it did carry on that long tradition of telling ghost stories around the Christmas Eve time or the Christmas time. So, which is pretty cool, I would say. But yeah, I mean, obviously, this story is, the main stuff about this movie and the story is, it's a very well popular novel written by Susan. And the book community. And this one actually, for the time period, had a very strong British cast to it. So that's why it was very critically acclaimed for British television at this time. Yes. A very proper movie, I would say. A very nice little ghost story for you. You can drink some hot chocolate while watching this good old classic tale, I would say.
Or some tea, as I just finished.
Some tea. Over there, some crumpets and tea.
Trumpets and tea.
All right,
have some scones at Christmas time.
Yes,
watch your ghost stories.
And obviously, this one would obviously spawn remakes later on in 2000s. Later on in the 2000s, of The Woman in Black, The Woman in Black 2. So very interesting. Maybe one time the Lights Out, we'll cover those. Maybe we'll do a Lights Out Ghost Month or whatever.
Sure.
But since this is a long movie to review, let's get right into it. Let's get right into this Christmas Eve television event, The Woman in Black.
Yeah, let's get to work.
You know the Drablow estate? Mr. Drablow was a China trader. He died out east. Now his widow has just passed away. I want you to attend the funeral. You're to stay on and clear things up. Sort out Mrs. Drablow's effects and any documents. Put the house up for sale.
And worse, she has found ways to make me hear their calamity in the marshes. Last night,
All right. So we start off. We are in the streets of London, 1925.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We see some lawyer-looking office.
Yep.
We have two guys laughing at some Charlie Chaplin newspaper jokes. There, Alison, that's real comedy, brother. Don't put it. Don't disrespect my Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, he was talking about the gold rush, which had come out that year in 1925. So,
there you go.
Hilarious.
So we have our main lawyer guy from the story, which they don't call. I guess they were kind of lawyers, but they were called solicitors.
Well, that's what a lawyer is called in England. They're a solicitor or a barrister.
Oh. Is that why we have no soliciting signs on our doors?
That's pretty good. I like.
We don't want no lawyers around here, brother.
I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I didn't see that coming.
So we have the Arthur Kidd in this movie, not Kipps, brother. All right, screw you, Susan. We're gonna do Kidd over here. All right. So he's meeting with this guy was my favorite character in this fuck. He was such like a. I love the boss, the newspaper boss guy, or like not newspaper, but the lawyer boss guy in this movie was great.
Right.
He reminded me of the newspaper boss or lawyer boss. I don't keep saying newspaper. It was the lawyer boss off of Dracula and of Nosferatu. Yeah. The one that was like possessed by Dracula or Nosferatu to lure out the guy to the castle. He reminded me of him. But like way funnier.
Yeah, when he's like, I'm going to send you to this place that I don't want to go myself.
Pretty much, that's what he does. So he's sending Arthur out to the Crichton Gifford. You ever been there, Alison? You ever been to Crichton Gifford?
No, I have not.
Well, apparently nobody else from London wants to go there either.
Apparently not.
All right? It's on the English East Coast. All right, because he's going there. He needs to go to this funeral to settle the estate of his client, Alice Bordreau. All right, Bordreau. Sorry.
Yeah.
A widow. Okay. And, all the kids like, well, why don't you go? Because I got a family and shit. And then this fucking boss is like, I can't believe you got a fucking family.
Well, at first
career. I'm like, God
right.
Damn,
the guy's only 35 or whatever, right? But yeah, like he basically asks him, kind of implies that this is how he's going to make partner, right? If he's going to become a partner if he does stuff like this. So would you be willing to go? Yeah,
he was cracked. And towards the end of the movie, he cracks me up even more. But he's basically like, yeah, you're going if you want to get, to the. He's like, how far do you want to be on your career? Huh? You got to leave. He's like, well, I'm gonna be gone from my family for a little while. I got a newborn baby. He's like, well, that's your fucking fault. All right.
Right.
Getting a fucking family when you're supposed to be a solicitor. All right. Get on out there, brother. She'll understand. So I was getting huge Dracula vibes from this whole thing
exactly.
Right here. Because obviously you could tell that the boss didn't want to go himself, for this highly important estate. He was just putting it onto the newbie. All right. All right, so when this all happens, all right, he's basically just saying like, you're just there to settle the estate, all right, and you're there to like, get everything ready, all right. So now Arthur goes back home. He meets his wife and his baby and stuff. All right, he's playing around with his baby and stuff, having a good old time. Eddie's the boy, all right. And he's talking about he has his cut and everything. And then Arthur calms him down by giving him a kazoo.
Yeah, a kazoo.
All right.
How annoying. What an annoying gift.
So now Arthur's talking to his wife now, saying he has to go away for maybe a week or two. All right. For work. He doesn't want to go, but he has to. Trust me. I know the feeling. All right. Even though, there's some cool places. I wouldn't say Sydney, Australia is anything like this Griffin place. Even though, you never know. I am kind of on the coast here. So now we see Arthur. He's now on the train. He's looking bored. All right. Then we have some
Right.
old dude comes on the train, and this is when we meet Sam. All right.
Mhm.
We got our boy Sam on here now. And they start talking. All right, him and Sam. And they're basically, he's asking where he's going, everything. He's like, well, I'm going to go settle the estate for this Cynthia lady. And this is when he's like he basically knows the story behind this widower who died. Okay. And his full name is Sam Tuvey. Okay. And he's basically kind of warning him, like the townspeople of Krythin, okay, are going to be a little reluctant because of Darblow's home and where he has to go, the El Marsh house. They think it's basically a ghost house, basically. So, tell me if that sounds familiar.
It's a little bit similar, yeah.
When our boy, what was his name from Dracula again? God,
Harker.
Harker, yeah. When he goes to the Transylvania land, they don't like the main Dracula house. They all think it's haunted. Very similar to the story. Okay.
Yeah, how they won't take, nobody will take him there. Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Exactly. All right, so now authors now got to so him and Sam basically make friends. They exchange numbers and everything, so they make friends and everything. And Sam is a big landowner, he's a big rich guy around the area. All right. So now Arthur goes into this local. It looked like a pub to me, but I guess it was like a pub / hotel. So he gets there, gets his room ready. The hotel guy asks him what he's doing here. He's like, "Well, I'm here for the estate of Barley's," and he's like, "Oh shit!" It gets a little weird because obviously everybody's acting weird.
A lot of pubs have hotels above them, in England, which I think is where the tradition of having bars and hotels came from.
Yeah.
In America, but yeah, a lot of pubs have or had hotels above them, especially back then.
I do like it. Yeah, there's a lot of hotels we go to that have a lot of bars. There's a lot around here too, that like a hotel / restaurant and bar. Get a little fucked up, go rock to your room.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, the best way. So now, it's the next morning. Arthur goes out. He's gonna go visit this other solicitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. He's gonna go meet Pepperlow.
Sure.
Pepperlow. That's a weird name, bro. Pepperlow.
Isn't it?
All right. So he's gonna meet him, and they're both gonna kind of work together on the estate. But Pepperlow is a little spooky. He knows the tale of the Earl house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of meet up. They go to the funeral, and this is the first sighting that Arthur sees the woman in black at the funeral. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we can see that, he's talking to him and everything. And he tells Pepper, "Hey, do you see that woman in black over there? She looks like she's grieving and stuff." And then Pepper is kind of like ignoring it. And then he gets a little freaked out. And then he tells his kids to go away. Bugger off, kids.
Bugger off.
So you could tell that, basically a lot of people know. It's like one of those things where you go in there, you're trying to solve the mystery. And nobody wants to tell you what's happening. You got to figure it out yourself. That's basically what the boy Arthur is doing. All right. All right. And so now Arthur is now meeting Pepper at the office. All right. They talk about the house for sale. Basically, he doesn't want to go to the house. This guy, Pepperler, he wants Arthur to go to the house and he can go start off all the paperwork. He has to go gather all the paperwork from the house to get all this stuff in the setup. All right. But he's saying the reason he doesn't want to go there is because the house is located, it's hard to get to. It's located on this tide. And sometimes when the tide's too long, you can't get there. So they have one special guy who can actually bring them to the house. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So now we get a scene of this two kids playing around a truck. All right. They start stealing some food. We have pigs around everywhere. And this is the scene where we have a log fall on a Romanian kid's leg. But Arthur saves the kid before the accident can happen. All right. And then Pepperell is saying that, oh, you did a good thing with that. Let's go grab a drink. All right. So now Arthur talks about the woman in black again. He's going to go to the house this afternoon. All right. Arthur talks to a guy who apparently he talks to this guy who hates gypsies. All right. This is like some dude at the bar. This fucking gypsies are around everywhere, brother. All right. And he says, yeah, all the markets, they bring in the gypsies all the time. Right. I never heard that. Like, hating on gypsies, brother.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty common thing, especially like back then and before that, because they were considered like thieves and things like that. And they would con you, that kind of thing. But yeah, and carnies, that kind of thing.
The guy at the bar is like, you ain't from around here. He's like, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I got this Earl house for sale. And he's like, oh. And then the guy starts laughing a little bit. He's like, good luck with that place. So now our Arthur sets off sail. All right. And now he's riding with the rider who's like I guess like it was like I don't know if he was like the house, like the helped out Darlow's, but what was this guy, like the coachman? All right.
The guy that took him to the guy that took him to the house.
Yeah.
I think he's just a guy that knows how to get there.
Yeah.
Because you can, like you were saying, you can only get there at certain times of the day. Yeah. Because of the tides. You can only get there at low tide. And I think that he was just also he's probably just one of the people that would take him there, where most people didn't even want to go to the house.
Yeah. Because he was also in her recordings as well too, as being kind of like the house taker a little bit, like a nice guy.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So he takes kid there to the L. Marshall house. All right. And then he was saying like something about 9 lives and everything out here. So he gets there. All right. He shows kid how to use the generator. All right. To power on the electric parts of the house. And then he leaves kid alone at the house. Kid explores the family graveyard. He sees the mystery woman from the funeral, terrifying. So basically, it was like scaring him. All right. Because he was looking over all the graves that were outside of the house. Okay. We had some cool tombs over here. One of them had like a doll head on it. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I know. Some creepy shit.
So then so after he looks at all these tombs, that's when he hears some weird noises and he sees the woman in black. And the woman in black looks pissed. She's pissed. I look at my notes here, though. The woman in black looked pissed, or she was super British. One of the two.
I think she was just super British, but I see what you're saying. That a lot of those, some of those British chicks have the resting bitch face, if you will.
Yes, exactly. So he turns on all the lights. Arthur looks around the house. This is when we have to do our runtime, because he goes to every single room and turns on every single light on every single room.
Yes, we got to get that 141 minutes, man.
Yeah, exactly. Now he can't get into one of the rooms, which we'll find out that'll be the kids' room later on. All right, so now Arthur is taking his sweet time to get going. That's what I put in my notes. And he gets he records himself. Says he's in a silent room and he's going through all her rubbish. All right. Now he's trying to get to work to listen to the tapes. So now he's listening to the tapes of the widow. All right. And she now was speaking of not, basically he's listened to all these recordings of her tapes and he looks bored as shit listening to all of them. Okay. So he has his recording. Alice is not coming to 4 a.m. Arthur is trying to look for the driver guy. So, and he's trying to look for him. Now he's trying to leave now. And he can't see the guy because, the driver said I can only pick you up at this time, so be ready, or else
because of low tide.
Low tide. So he's trying to look for him. He can't see him anywhere.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure why they can't take a boat.
Well,
why can they not take a boat? That would be right. It would be plot armor, right? Or what they call it. Yeah, you would have to. It's booked that way.
So this is when we hear the first round of noises. All right, we hear these noises. It's a kid's voice screaming. A bunch of mayhem going on. Kids saying no, 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 screaming for mommy, all this stuff. Now, I do have a question for you at the end of this episode, Alison, about these noises, because they would come up a bunch of times. And these would be the noises that would haunt our boy author. I do have a theory, but I'm not exactly sure because I didn't read the book.
Okay. Well, I didn't either, but I'll see if I agree with your theory.
So then, after all this melee, author finally gets picked up by the carriage guy. And the carriage guy, I heard you screaming. Don't worry. I wasn't going to leave you behind. Thought that was funny. So they leave. He asks, hey, you going to come back to this place? He's like, I'm not sure. That's what author says. He's like, I don't know. I heard this weird noises. All right. So now author's around. He's checked out this graveyard during the day. We see a grave for Emily Hill. We see a grave for Rebecca and Thomas Beckeridge. All right. We see a grave for Edmund Todd, died age 40. Author goes to Toby Intercuts. They said he saw the woman and more. So he basically, he's going back and he's saying he saw that woman in black and she looks upset. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going back to the other solicitor, the Peppermint guy, and this other guy. So now author is figuring out, like, everybody knows this place is all weird and stuff. How come you didn't warn me? All right.
Right.
So he's basically getting all that. Everybody's just trying to calm him down a little bit.
Yeah. Because then he wouldn't have went.
Yeah. So now author meets with Sam, I guess, to calm down. This is when Sam introduces author to Spider, the dog. All right. They do some small talk. This is when author is now meeting with Sam in his study. He talks about so Sam talks a little bit about his farms that he has. And so basically the story behind Sam is basically he is like a business owner, a landowner. He sells property and stuff. He used to have a child, I believe, or something, but they don't have a child anymore. They weren't lucky or something. All right.
Okay.
I think he said his child either died or something. Something happened to the child.
Yeah, I think his child died.
And because he was asking about author's family and everything. And he was basically saying that his job is like a hobby, but what do hobbies mean? What's the point of hobbies?
What's the point of a hobby?
What's the point?
You should work. You should just work all the time.
It's all just nonsense. What is the point? What is anything worth it? He seemed like an emo guy at this time. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, so sad.
What does everything even mean anymore? It's all pointless. Wife leaves, and then he's like, all right, let's get to business. The wife is left now. So now the author is talking about his experience. And now our boy Sam is I thought like Sam was like in on it. Like I thought he was like maybe the evil guy of our story. Because everything the author was saying his experience, Sam was like, he had like an explanation for. He's like, well, I was out and I heard all these screaming. Oh, that was the birds. He's like, well, I heard this horse thing. Oh, that was just the tide. They make sounds all the time.
I didn't think of that, but that's a good point. But I thought that he was just like, kind of making fun of him for being a city boy or whatever. He's like, oh, you're not from the country or whatever. You don't know what a seagull can sound like, blah, blah, blah.
Which, hey.
But yeah, that's a good point.
They sound crazy.
They do, yeah.
Maybe not so much here, but later on in our story, Sam was giving me like the killer vibes a little bit. All right, so now author basically convinces himself he needs to go back to this house. And Sam is basically like, I don't think you should go there because you are not ready. So, well, why is he not ready? All right.
Exactly.
And then basically, and because Sam was also saying like, Sam was like, do you believe in ghosts? And I was like, no, not really. I thought it was all fairy tale stuff. But when I saw this woman in black, the way her eyes were, she was so real.
So that made him believe.
I made him believe.
I guess so. That was pretty easy.
Yeah. So Sam's like, now is like, well, you shouldn't go alone. And like, I was like, no, I'll be fine. It's like, no, you're not brave enough. You're not brave enough to go alone. You shouldn't go alone. And I thought he was going to be like, hey, I'll join you. You know what I mean? I'm brave enough. My hobby is boring. Let me join you. No, this Sam guy's like, take my dog. He'll be your companion.
Wow.
I don't know. I thought
that was I thought that was weird too. Like maybe that's an old British thing. I don't know, but it's like, here, I'll loan you my dog. And I'm like, okay.
So he didn't offer up, he didn't offer up
any help. No,
Sam's like, I ain't going to that witch house. But my dog, don't worry about him.
Yeah, I'll just send my dog. He's like, I'm not going there. He's like, I don't want you to die, but I'm not going there.
We need that mud out of the house anyway.
Right.
All right, brother. I thought that like threw me off for a second. I was like, so you're not gonna help, but you're gonna send the dog. Gotcha.
That's also really weird. Like, would you loan your dog to anybody? I think that's odd.
No, it's weird.
Exactly. I wouldn't do that either. Anyway,
it's the Sam's a different guy. So now Arthur takes the dog to the pub, which I thought was really funny, which is like his, hotel / pub. Now he's leaving his room. All right. And everybody at the pub and the hotel thinks he's all crazy for staying at this house. So now Arthur takes the dog inside the house with him. Okay. They're back at the house. He looks all around the house. He finds a picture to creepy music. You ever do that, Alison? You're at home or you go into a new house. You just explore. You look through the old pictures and you find a creepy one and that creepy music just plays.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm always listening to creepy music on my headphones, so that happens all the time.
Or are you going through pictures?
Always. And pictures of old people. I love how he's like looking through the pictures and he's trying to match the pictures to people on the walls, but he can't. That was awesome. Like, why would they necessarily be in the pictures in that room? But anyway.
So he's doing all this stuff. Spider, completely bored. He's like, oh, fuck this place. So now Arthur hears some horse stuff outside, like, the horse walking.
Right.
And then he hears that bird noise again. All right. Here's the whole track again. No, mommy. And even at first I'm thinking, okay, that sounds like a sound clip that we just added into this movie. And then Arthur records himself saying, I think that might be a recording outside.
Wow.
I was like, in 1925, somebody is recording that outside and playing it to you.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because we see how
happens at the same time.
Yeah, because we see how easy sound recordings were in 1925.
Yes. By the way, when he first used that recorder, I mean, it took him like 15 minutes to get the fucking thing working. I'm like, come on, bro. All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, have you noticed that everything that runs on electricity in this movie has to be like, there's something with a crank on it that he has to turn until it powers up. Yeah, it's like, holy shit.
So
I guess it's better than darkness.
Yeah. So now he hears some noises coming up from upstairs, and now he's going into that room that was locked earlier. That's the kids' room. All right. And I like how he goes in there with an axe. All right. Because Spider did also run up in there because Spider heard the noise as well. Right. So we have some creepy music box playing of some creepy kid, like kind of like creepy doll music. We see some creepy dolls all around, and then we hear this kid's voice saying hello. And this is when Arthur Kid finds the toy soldier.
Yes. Which will be a huge plot point coming up.
Huge plot point. And then the lights go off, and then we have psycho music play. And then Arthur freaks out. He runs all the way through the house, all the way to the generator, turns on the generator, comes back in the house, and that was about 10 or 15 minutes of the movie. Just him doing that. All right. And now he goes inside. The lights are still flickering and moving. Spider just runs away. He's like, fuck this place. I'm bored of shit over here. Screw you. Arthur tries to go calls for him. Doesn't work at all. Arthur now records himself again. Then he sees the toy. He calls on Spider again. All right. We hear the screams, and he freaks out. All right. But then he comes back inside, and now he's playing the tape. So the tape that he's playing, and he keeps playing, is from the girl who looks like the woman in black. All right.
Yes.
So that's the tape, because he found the picture of her, and now he's playing the tape of her to find out more. And this is when we're hearing some more tapes about on September 9th, when the guy brought the food to her. I believe it was this is when she was talking about the delivery guy. All right. And then we just see all this stuff, and Arthur looks so bored listening to all these tapes. All right. And then this is when she says a line saying, "I will not be afraid of my own kin." And Arthur's like, I am now going to be Bruce Wayne. I'm going to be the best detective and figure out what this all means now. So now Arthur hears a noise at the door. It's Sam. Sam's there saying, "Hey, Spider came home and he was all dirty and half drowned." And Arthur's like, "Oh, shit. I'm glad he's okay." All right. And then Arthur is like, "Sam, let me show you my detective work." All right. So he shows the picture of the woman, saying, "This is the woman in black. This is what she used to look like." And he's like, and then Sam's like, "How do you know?" And Arthur's like, "I seen her eyes."
Yes.
That's right, Alison. I don't see you being no fucking Bruce Wayne detective guy.
Yeah, hell no. I would have left this place out of the first damn night. But we've talked about this before, though, because ghost shit doesn't scare you, but it scares the shit out of me. Like, I wouldn't say this movie was scary, but like when the kids started talking to him, I'm fucking out of it. And then like the bouncing ball part, I'm ready to fucking go home. Yeah. Fuck you. I don't need to be a lawyer. I'll go work at Taco Bell.
Exactly. I'll go work at the pub, brother. Screw this. All right. So let me see if I got this story correctly. Maybe you can help me out here, Allison. Sure. So the whole story is basically there was this kid who had a mom, but the mom was kind of crazy. So she gave up the kid to a different mom. But then the original mom wanted to get back the kid, and she made a big fuss about it. And then the kid died.
I think that's what happened. Yes. Because he was saying, he was talking to Sam, and he was saying, the kid, it wasn't her sister or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like one of her relatives.
Yeah. Relatives or sisters or something.
Yeah. And then she took the lady from the house took the kid to take care of it.
Yeah.
And then I remember Sam was saying, "Oh, it was happy times for the family." And he's like, "Oh, not for very long." And then apparently the kid died like a year later or something. Yeah.
He drowned, I believe.
Yeah. So, and I guess the insinuation is like the original mother might have killed the kid is what I took out of that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so I have theories about the woman of death or the woman in black.
Yeah.
And this, I like the ending of this, probably the best part of the film, which we'll get to. And I have theories that I'll tell at the end, but this is basically right now is the mystery of the two mothers. Okay. Is, one of them was crazy basically. And they were sisters apparently. And one of them, I guess, thought the other one killed the kid. And then the other one was freaking out, trying to get back the kid that was originally hers. And it was just a whole big mess. And now Sam knows the story a little bit. He's trying to blow it off, says, "Listen, like the mother was crazy. She wanted back her kid. We think when she was trying to get her back, that's when the kid drowned. So this whole big story." He said the kid was, so like the story to me, this part was just a little confusing. All right. So now Sam, they were basically, it was like a cover up basically, or the town didn't really talk about the story because of the woman being so crazy. Okay. But maybe she wasn't crazy. That's basically what Sam was trying to say. So now they look up to the kids' room, and the kids' room's all fucked up. And now Sam is like, now Arthur is all like freaked out. All right.
Yes.
Let's see.
So yeah, because he's surprised that because he's supposed to be showing him the kids' room with all the toys, and then the toys are all destroyed.
So here's the story that we were trying to break down for everybody. All right. So it says here, Mrs. Darbellow's papers. The kid learns that Mrs. Darbellow's sister, Janet Goss, Janet Goss, had a child out of wedlock. All right. The Darbellows adopted the boy to save face, insisting he should never know Janet was his mother. Janet kidnapped her son and tried to escape Viva the cows away, but the pony and trap became stuck in the marsh and sank, killing all aboard. So that's basically what happened. So kind of like we were saying was this Janet Gross, all right, Darbellow's sister, had a bastard kid. So they gave the kid to the Darbellows, but then the original mother, Janet, wanted to get the kid, and she tried to escape with the kid, and they both drowned.
And then they drowned.
Died.
Exactly.
So that's what happened. All right, because back in the day, brother, they'll be having them kids out of wedlock. All right.
No,
or else.
Couldn't do that. Or else.
All right. So now, author, author basically passes out after he shows Sam the child's room and all the recordings and stuff. But like this scene right here also too did remind me of like Sam. He seemed like he was in on it. Like he was all like maybe like the bastard dad was Sam. That's what I was thinking. Like the dad who had the child out of wedlock was Sam.
Maybe.
And he's the one who impregnated this Janet girl. And he was the one telling her to give up the kid and everything. That's what I thought was happening, but that, basically wasn't explained. That's what I thought was happening at this time.
Right.
Because, every situation that author was trying to tell Sam was just denying everything. All right. He was just thinking it was just crazy. All right. All right. So this is when basically kid's now collapsing. He wakes up. He's having these hot flashes. All right. And he's back in the town. All right. He gets a visit by his wife. His wife has now showed up. So she is.
Yeah, well, he has a fever.
Yeah,
he has a fever. Yeah, and they have to let it run its course, they say.
Yeah. So the wife shows up and she is, saying like, oh, yeah, I came over here and he's been out for days and stuff. And I was like, have you come here to be solicited by Dracula? But she hasn't.
Ooh.
That's what I thought was happening, but it wasn't. But she knows the whole story of what was going on. She knows that he's been having a stressful time and that he saved a Romanian kid. But she did not get told about his hauntings of this mystery that he found. She doesn't know anything about that. So Sam comes back in. All right. And Sam is now informed author kid that he can now go home. Everything is gone. The house burnt down. Nothing to see here. All good. Mystery that you solved. Whatever. Haunted black women. All gone. House
no problems
down.
at all.
Go back to London.
Nothing to see.
Are you telling me this guy wasn't in on it, brother? Like this guy was shady, bro. This Sam guy was shady as shit. And don't tell me it wasn't.
Yeah. No, he was. Like, yeah. So Sam, I think Sam probably burnt the house down. Or it was the ghost. But probably Sam.
This is my theory. I could be totally wrong. All right. My theory was Sam is the bastard dad of the kid, that Nathaniel, whatever.
That's a good theory. That is a good theory. I didn't think of that. That is a good theory, though.
All right. So now we have author. He finds this his toy. All right. And I believe actually I think we didn't talk about this part. Sorry. This is like one of the biggest parts. I think before he got sick or went into shock, I think then he was at either Sam's house or something where he finds the toy. He hears the kid's voice. Okay.
Yeah. The kid's voice saying, "This is for you.
This is for you." And then that's when the woman in black haunts him and like she's like super British and screams in his face. And that's when he freaks out and that's when he goes into his trance and being sick. Okay.
Right.
So I guess it was to imply that the evil Janet is the woman in black at this time, and she doesn't want the mystery to be solved of her kid drowning, I guess.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, so that's what happened. Kid awakes in the town, and that's when he finds his whole shoulder and stuff, and he falls ill the next day. Okay. All right, so now that everything is now done, you don't have to worry about the estate anymore. The house burnt down. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Nope. The mystery has been solved. You're all good. Sam tells him, get the fuck out of this town. Go back to London. Yep. Don't undercover my dastardly deeds. And then Arthur just does. He's like, all right, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I've had enough of this shit. I'm leaving.
So now Arthur is still having some nightmares. All right. And he's like, oh, okay, I won't go to the office in about a day or two. Next morning, he goes to the office because he's a good worker. Mm-hmm. He talks to the two dorks from there saying, oh, we're sorry that you felt ill and stuff. The boss wants to see you. And this is my favorite part of the movie.
This is fantastic.
All right. Let me see if I can recap it off memory.
Can't wait.
So Arthur goes into, talks to the boss. Boss is like, I heard you got ill. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, but don't worry about it. Everything burnt down anyway, so.
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
And then Arthur's like, I got a theory. I think that you knew about this place, and I mean, I heard you even visit there one time. Boss is like, yeah, I visited there one time. I didn't stay long. I just went there.
Hell no, because it's fucking haunted. Yeah.
He's like, I didn't particularly like the place, so I just went. He's like, well, I got a theory. I got a theory there. Arthur is like, you sent me there on purpose because you knew the whole history and hauntings of this place. And the boss is like, how dare you? All right. He's like, listen.
How dare you?
I got some of his quotes in here, which are fucking hilarious.
This is fantastic. Yeah.
All right. And he's all like, listen. All right. How dare you accuse me of that? By the way, even if that was the case, water under the bridge. Water under the bridge, man.
Even if I fucked you over, who cares?
It burnt down. Everything's all good. And then he's like, oh, by the way, my good chap, there's a box that came from you with a bunch of shit in it from the house. Yeah. I need you to look it over. And Arthur's like, I ain't looking at that thing. Why don't you do this? I ain't looking. And Sam's like, the boss is like, this is not my job, brother. Okay. Right. You're going to go look to that box, sort out all the shit in there. All right. To your satisfaction.
It's weird that the box survived the fire though, right?
Yes. All right. So now Arthur is super nervous and he's going to go look at the box in there. And he opens up. First of all, he gets interrupted by the two dorks again, saying there's some woman out there looking for him. It could have been the woman in black. Arthur looks out the window. I think that's what he thinks. Yeah. Arthur looks out the window, couldn't see him, tells him to go fuck off. Arthur now looks through the box, finds a bunch of papers and reels and recording tapes and stuff. Doesn't find the toy soldier. So you know what he does?
So he freaks out. He freaks out and he burns the building down.
He burns the box and the papers in the room, which is probably not the best idea.
No, but I mean, in retrospect, where he went wrong is when he poured the paraffin into the box itself and then threw the box onto the fire. He probably would have been okay if he just put the papers in the fireplace and burned them. Well, he decided to fill it full and then throw it on the fucking fire. That's probably where he went wrong.
The box might have been haunted. So there you go.
Right. Exactly.
So the next scene, we had the copper looking out the one burnt room in the whole place. Like the fire didn't spread, apparently. It just burnt that one room. And he's all like, I found it. And he shows the boss. He's like, I found it. See? Yeah. Evidence. And he's like, looks at Arthur's like, what the hell were you thinking? And then boss is like, don't worry about this. I got it. The boss goes up to him and is like, what the hell are you doing? And Arthur's like, you knew the whole time. That's why you sent me there. You sent me there, but you were too much of a coward to do this. You knew that was going to happen to me and all this stuff. And the boss is like, whoa, brother. Whoa. Water on the bridge, man. Okay. You might get haunted now. You might have the Lady of Death following you around. They're not my fault.
Maybe. It's not my fault.
Water
under the bridge.
Brother. You got a family, brother. I told you not to get a fucking family.
I told you not to get a family.
All right.
Yeah, 35. You don't have a family at 35.
And then Arthur freaks out, starts choking his ass. All right. And then they pull him away. And then this fucking boss is like, bro, if I can reenact his, let me see if I can do it on camera. This guy's like getting choked.
So great.
And he's like, me? Like overacting everything. This guy was.
Yeah, that was a straight Vince McMahon choke sell.
Bro, he was selling it.
Yeah.
I was like, give this. No wonder they won awards. They won awards for this guy selling that choke.
Selling that shit. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. And then the fucking boss is like, don't show up the next morning. You're gone out of here, Arthur. You're gone. So Arthur is now.
Well, that tends to happen when you burn down your place of work.
Exactly. So now Arthur goes home. He talks to his wife. And the wife is all like, well, first he gives his kid a toy. Which I thought it was the toy. I thought it was like the toy soldier, but we don't see what the toy is.
All right. That's what I thought it was going to be, the toy soldier, but it wasn't. We don't know what it was.
And then he's talking to his wife, about living his job. And the wife's like, now we can just go wherever we want.
Yeah. Because fuck it, who needs money?
And I'm thinking like, I don't think that's how mortgages work. Even back in the day. We'll just leave the house and the kids and the maid and everything. We'll leave all that behind. Yeah. We'll go on a boat.
Yeah. Well, we can go anywhere we want because we're going to be homeless.
So we're going to go. Because
you don't have a fucking job.
We got a fucking job now. You fucked up by burning a bunch of shit and choking your boss out. Even though it was cool. So now they go on a boat. So anywhere they want, they go on a boat. All right. So they're going on this boat down the river.
Yeah.
Having a good old time outside in the river. Arthur now freaks out because he sees the woman in black on the water. Standing on the water. And then he freaks out. He freaks out with his face. And then one tiny branch falls on him and they sink down to the bottom. They die.
That's what I thought too. Is like, there's no way that branch would make them,
Brother, I have bigger branches fall on my car than this fucking boat on this car. All right.
Exactly. But then we see like the tree fall like 5 times. So I think that's probably what happened. It just kept falling.
Now I got a question for you, Alison. And if anybody wants to comment below, they can.
Sure.
So let me get this. I think the point of this, and I could be totally wrong because, sometimes sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I just make up stories in my own head.
Yeah.
So I thought the meaning of this was basically Arthur, since maybe nobody wanted to uncover this mystery, because if you uncover this mystery, you will meet the Lady of Death. So the woman in black was supposed to be death. You know what I mean? Like, how they say, like, before you die, you see like death or whatever coming for your soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
So maybe the woman in black was the death, and the screams that we heard constantly through the house was a prelude to them dying on the boat.
Oh, that's a pretty good theory. I like that. I thought that they were just like a residual haunting where you would hear that occasionally. My theory was that the woman in black did represent the death of children.
Yeah.
And that's why she was attached to him, because he saved that little gypsy girl's life when she should have died. And that's why she was attached to him, because he kept her from taking, if you will, another child. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So he took his child.
It took his child instead. Yeah.
2 for 1, I guess.
I guess so.
2 bits. Very interesting. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I mean, that theory makes sense too. That's probably what the major, I could see that theory being more like she was like, because they did say there was a couple missing death kids. Remember, Sam had one, and there was a couple gypsy kids that gone missing or dead and stuff. Maybe it was the Lady of Death coming after the kids. And also too, it is noticeable that Arthur did die the same way that Janet or Jean died, whatever the girl's name was, because they both died on the boat and they drowned.
Right.
So maybe when you save kids from this far off land in London, you get haunted by this ghost creature.
By the angel of death. Yeah, I guess so.
Death, brother. So not bad. I liked it. This story was very interesting. I liked it. Some of it was a little drowned out, I would say, for TV purposes. but I actually thought the overall story was pretty cool. And I did like the ending. The ending was actually really fun, I would say.
Yeah, the ending was good. I like the ending.
Yeah. I would say some stuff in the middle probably could have been cut out, like him exploring the whole house in every 5 seconds. But
yes.
We had to make it for TV, so it made sense.
And turning all the lights in the house and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes. The holes in him turn. I was like, come on, brother. Turning on every light of the house. Come on. We got you. But yeah, pretty good so far. But the retro blood for Ghost Month moves on.
Continues. And we never stop.
We never stop, brother, because next week we will be exploring Ghost House.
Woo! It's going to be a good one. We'll talk about the history of this. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be great.
And then we're
going to talk about
two more.
History on this.
The round up the month of September. And by the way, Alison, I found one we can do. I don't think I told you about this one yet. So we have The Ripper, which we'll be doing 2 weeks from now. And to finish up our 1980s Ghost Month, leading us into our October review, which I'm very excited about our October one coming up. We are going to finish out the month with Ghost Keeper.
Ooh, Ghost Keeper. That's a good one.
So all these movies are going to be very similar tone, where they're going to be, I believe they all take place in like the 20th century. Most of them, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're doing like very old school ghost tale stories. So pretty fun. So pretty cool for the retro blood. And of course, on the Ghost Keeper episode, we will let everybody know what our schedule for October is, which is our annual.
It's going to be special.
It's going to be a special one. I can't wait for this one. It's going to be a really good discussion. Obviously our October, we always do like a series long review, and with a couple lights out specials on there. It's kind of like also the anniversary of the podcast as well too. So everybody, but join us for our prelude September when we talk these ghosts, and join us next week for the Ghost House.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Alison, what metal music should we play for everybody getting on out of here on the podcast?
Let's play something that goes along with the theme of the movie or the ending of this movie. Let's play The Process of Suffocation.
Oh, there was
because Arthur found out,
bro. For two people. First of all, his boss almost got suffocated in the most dramatic fashion ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then he drowned from a small branch tree, getting haunted by the woman of death in black.
Exactly. Yep.
So, but everybody, check it all out. J.H. Alison, James Kline. We'll see you here next week on the Retro Blood. See y'all.